The mess hall of Outpost Kepler 442. B fell silent the moment she entered. William Harper looked up from his protein paste, fork frozen halfway to his mouth. Every human in the cafeteria had stopped mid-conversation, mid-bite, mid-breath. The Zenthari Queen had arrived for the evening meal, and protocol demanded respectful distance. "Never go near her," Commander Chen had warned during orientation 3 months ago. The Zenthari royalty consider close proximity without invitation to be a grave insult. Maintain at least 5 meters at all times. Some poor bastard on Station Osiris got too close once. They found him crystallized in the ventilation system. The other diplomats and soldiers gave the Queen a wide berth as she glided through the hall, her chitinous plates catching the artificial light like polished obsidian. She was over 2 meters tall, with 4 arms folded in an arrangement that William had learned meant observing with interest. Her compound eyes, 3 of them, scanned the room with an intelligence that made his skin prickle. William returned his attention to his meal, keeping his head down. He was just a xenolinguist, barely 26 years old, assigned to this godforsaken rock to study trade dialects. He had no business drawing the attention of alien royalty. The cafeteria slowly resumed its nervous chatter. William relaxed slightly, scooping another bite of the tasteless paste. Then he felt it, a presence that made the hair on his neck stand up. Queen Maya stood directly beside his table. The mess hall went silent again, but this time the silence had weight, had teeth. William's hand trembled. The spoon clattered against his tray. Every eye in the room fixed on him with a mixture of horror and morbid fascination. "Don't move," he told himself. "Don't make eye contact, don't." With a fluid grace that shouldn't have been possible for a creature of her size, Maya sat down across from him. Not 5 meters away, not even 2 meters. Directly across from him. William heard someone gasp. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Lieutenant Rodriguez reach for her sidearm before Sergeant Kim grabbed her wrist and shook his head frantically. "William Harper," Maya said, her voice a crystalline harmony that the translator in his ear rendered into perfect English. "You are the one who corrected Ambassador T-Lesh's translation during yesterday's trade negotiations." It wasn't a question. William swallowed hard, finally meeting her gaze, or rather, gazes. Her 3 compound eyes regarded him with an intensity that made him feel transparent. "Yes, Your Majesty," he managed. The nuance was important. The difference between conditional agreement and tentative acceptance could have caused misunderstanding down the line. Indeed, one of her lower arms reached out. William fought every instinct not to flinch, and she picked up a food synthesizer menu. "You speak 17 languages, I am told, including 3 non-human dialects." 19 now, Your Majesty. I've been studying Zenthari Royal Court dialect in my spare time." The words were out before he could stop them. The mess hall seemed to collectively hold its breath. Maya's mandibles clicked. A sound William had learned could mean anything from amusement to murderous rage depending on the pitch and rhythm. His translator remained silent, unable to parse the emotional context. "Show me," she commanded. William's mind raced. He'd been practicing from forbidden audio files he'd found in the station's restricted database, recordings from the last Zenthari diplomatic summit. He cleared his throat and spoke in the clicking, harmonic language of her people. "This humble scholar apologizes for his presumption, but seeks knowledge like a hatchling seeks the first sun." Maya's entire body went still. Around them, the humans looked ready to bolt or fight, unsure which would be more suicidal. Then she laughed. It was a sound like wind chimes made of crystal and starlight, nothing the translator could have prepared him for. Her mandibles spread wide in what he desperately hoped was a smile. "Your accent is atrocious," she replied in her own language, "but your grammar is nearly perfect. Where did a human learn the first tongue?" "From shadows and secrets," William answered, using a formal phrase that meant through unauthorized but respectful means. This one covets understanding above safety. That much is evident. Maya switched back to translated speech, gesturing at the empty chairs around them. You sit alone while your kind huddles together like frightened grubs. Why? William considered lying, considered the diplomatic answer, then decided that if he was going to die crystallized in a ventilation shaft anyway, he might as well be honest. Because they're afraid, Your Majesty, and I'm not. You should be. Her tone carried no threat, just observation. I could end you with a thought. My chemical guards could stop your heart before you drew another breath. Yes, Your Majesty, but you won't. And why do you believe that? Because you didn't sit here to kill me. You sat here because you're curious, just like I am. William leaned forward slightly, emboldened by her continued lack of violence. We've been negotiating for 3 months, and not once has anyone asked you what you actually want from this alliance. They just read from their prepared statements and wait for you to approve or disapprove. Maya's central eye focused on him with laser intensity. And what do you think I want, presumptuous human? The same thing I do, to understand someone different from yourself, to find common ground in an uncommon universe. He gestured at the mess hall, at the humans still frozen in various states of panic. They see an alien queen. I see someone who's probably as tired of formal protocols and diplomatic doublespeak as I am. The silence stretched. William wondered if he'd finally gone too far. Then Maya reached into a pouch at her side and produced something that looked like a crystalline fruit, multifaceted and glowing with inner light. She placed it on the table between them. This is a Crescia, she said softly. In my culture, it is shared between those who seek to understand one another beyond the boundaries of duty. She split it with one claw, offering him half. It is also violently poisonous to most species. We have no data on human compatibility. William stared at the glowing fruit. This was insane. This was beyond insane. Commander Chen would have him court-martialed. The xenobiology team would write papers about his stupidity. He picked up his half of the fruit. To understanding, he said and bit down. The taste exploded across his tongue, sweet and sharp and alien in ways he had no words for. Heat bloomed in his chest, then spread through his limbs. His vision swam for a moment, colors intensifying, then settled. He didn't die. Maya's mandibles clicked again, definitely amusement this time. Your species is more resilient than we believed. Congratulations, William Harper. You are the first human to share Crescia with a Zenthari royal. Does this mean I won't end up crystallized in the ventilation system? That remains to be determined by your continued behavior. But her tone was warm now, almost playful. Tell me, scholar of shadows and secrets, what else have you learned of my people? And so they talked. About language and culture, about the loneliness of being different, about the weight of expectations. The mess hall gradually emptied as other humans fled to report this unprecedented interaction, but William barely noticed. For the first time since arriving at this distant outpost, he felt like he was having a real conversation. Hours later, when Maya finally rose to leave, she placed one of her upper hands on his shoulder, a gesture that made the remaining guards tense. Tomorrow, she said, I will be reviewing the mineral rights proposals in Conference Room 7. The human negotiators bore me. You will attend instead. Your Majesty, I'm just a linguist. I'm not authorized. You are now. Her eyes gleamed with something that might have been mischief. Consider it a reward for your courage, or punishment for your foolishness. The line between the two is often thinner than your kind appreciates. She swept from the hall, leaving William alone with his racing thoughts and the other half of the glowing fruit. Commander Chen appeared moments later, face red with suppressed rage. Harper, my office now. What the hell did you think you were? She wants me at tomorrow's negotiations, William interrupted, surprised by his own calm. The Zenthari queen specifically requested my presence. Chen opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. Finally, you're either the luckiest bastard in the galaxy or the dumbest, maybe both. Probably both, sir. As William made his way back to his quarters that night, he passed a viewport showing the alien landscape outside, purple skies and crystalline mountains, beautiful and terrible and nothing like Earth. He thought about fear and curiosity, about the walls people built and the bridges they refused to cross. They'd all warned him, never go near her. But Queen Maya had chosen to sit beside him anyway. And in that choice, in that moment of crossing the distance no one else dared to cross, something had shifted. Not just between two individuals, but between two species that had spent too long speaking past each other instead of to each other. Tomorrow, he would sit at a negotiating table he had no business being at. He would probably make mistakes. He might even start a diplomatic incident. But he would do it honestly, openly, with the same curiosity that had led him to study forbidden languages and share poisonous alien fruit with a queen who could kill him with a thought. Because sometimes the most human thing you can do is reach across the void and say, I see you. I'm curious about you. I'm not afraid. Even when everyone else is. Especially then. End.